just for context, just so the people know, we planned to shoot this on the 26th of November. Just because of other stuff happening, I wanted to shoot on the 25th. Joseph had prior engagements on the 25th, so we couldn't do the 25th. So we said, we'll stick with the 26th, which is the Sunday. And my God, what a good decision that was.
Yeah.
Because a certain Chicago hero decided to
Yes.
return to the WWE after nearly 10 years away. CM Punk is back. What was your initial reactions when you saw that?
So I was out during Survivor Series. I was out with my girlfriend, actually. So I think I saw the news like about an hour or so after it dropped. I was talking to a friend who's a wrestling fan, and he basically said, "So things have happened, huh?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I have only watched until like Claudio Garcia on Collision, and he was like, "Oh, so you haven't seen Survivor Series?" And as soon as he said that, I was like, "Are you telling me CM Punk is back?" That can be the only thing you would be trying to hide from me in a subtle way, is
Yeah,
that CM Punk is back. And there he is, man. He did the thing. It's
honestly.
wild.
Honestly, like I was doing a watch along on our wrestling's channel. That's our other main wrestling channel that we have, and the War Games match was won. The little sticker copyright thing in the corner came up. We thought, everything's a wrap. Cody's music is still playing because he got the pin, and then you hear Cult of Personality, and all of our faces, our reaction is like, oh my God, they actually did it. Like,
The pop was massive. Like,
crazy.
I don't think I've actually heard like an organic pop like that in the WWE since like Sammy hit Roman with the chair in
Yeah,
January. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Insane.
crazy, man. It's really for wrestling fans, maybe even so much so for WWE fans that kind of stick to WWE and didn't watch him over in AEW. Obviously, knew he returned to wrestling, but didn't watch him over in AEW. To see him back, literally, as we say, maybe about 2 months short of 10 years later, for them, it must be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
For those of us that kind of stay tapped in and watch a bit of everything, and I've seen him obviously as of recently, as of August in AEW, it's like, well, yeah, will WWE give him another chance? This, we have to
Yeah.
say at this point, this is his last major chance at a major company, like, surely.
I mean, we all thought that also in 2014. So I guess it's never say never, especially when it comes to CM Punk. Yeah, it's just it's crazy how much the industry has changed since he first left the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly it just shows how it feels slow, but it's actually so fast the way that just the entire industry has changed and created this like atmosphere where he could not only come back but also come back to the WWE. Insane, wild.
Yeah, obviously, with what you've just alluded to, there's been a new company that's in the fold. They're real main competitors, and we're going to come on to talk about AEW as well. WWE have had key changes at the top of their business, which has probably more so than anything allowed this move for CM Punk to come back. I'm not so sure what it would have looked like if Vince was still the guy at the top of the tree in
For sure.
WWE, but even with CM Punk and Triple H clearly having their differences in the past, Triple H is about his business. There's a feel good factor with Triple H in charge, and to be honest, that's the only thing I'm scared of. I don't know how much you've seen. There's some reactions from Seth Rollins and allegedly other wrestlers about his return, and I don't know. A lot of people are saying it's a work. They're just working and stuff like that. What kind of impact do you think this is going to have on the dressing room? A younger dressing room, a dressing room that the majority of them probably would have never even worked with CM Punk. They've just heard all the stories, all the rumors. What
Sure.
kind of impact do you think this will put on this dressing room, the WWE dressing room?
I genuinely have no clue, It's so difficult to process because I barely even understand how the AEW locker room sort of took to him. He was so divisive even within that locker room. You had people obviously who just hated were miserable working with him. You had a bunch of young guys who, really looked up to him. He was like foundational to influencing a whole generation of fans and wrestlers. And so there are workers in the back who are probably really interested to work with CM Punk, maybe like learn a thing or two. Or I can't imagine not looking at CM Punk getting that reaction in Chicago and everything, and not thinking like, surely you just want a piece of that money, right? Like,
Yeah.
even even the even the people who have like the most ingrained reasons to be cautious, or shall we say negative towards Punk, right? You hear that crowd, and I don't know, man. I'd want to be part of the money. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
surely
Yeah.
that's something to look forward to. But I really have no clue. Maybe he really is just that hard to work with. So
Yeah. I would like to think. I mean, Triple H in his press conference said, when everything happened between Punk and the company and himself, this was 10 years ago. And if we all haven't kind of grown after 10 years, then there's a problem, sort of thing, which is very true. We've seen CM Punk in the last 6 months kind of make mistakes again, allegedly. So
yeah,
I don't know if everyone's grown, sort of thing, but it's just going to be super, super interesting to see how this goes. Me, like, when I watch WWE, I'm here for the moments. I'm
yeah,
here for the moments and the big reactions, and then whatever happens later, we can figure it out later, because that's WWE. When I watch AEW, when I watch New Japan, I want that more um sense approach to things. I
sure.
just don't want moments that don't lead to anything, because I've got that from WWE. Um give me things that make sense and stories within these other companies. So right now, as hype as I was that, wow, CM Punk is actually back, I have no idea what they're gonna do with him. Like, I don't know what
Y-
the next is.
I'm with you. I have no idea what's next. I can only assume like he's too big not to work with Rollins, surely. Like, if
Yes,
if
yeah.
that's the top belt, that's just gonna happen no matter
Mm.
what. But yeah, I the past year of watching CM Punk in AEW has just kind of taught me that if I just primarily focus on what's on the TV, I'm just gonna have a good time. Like, if I don't get too caught up in all the backstage stuff, that's entertaining in its own way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because Twitter just melts down, just mwah, just absolute chaos every single time he does anything. He breathes in someone's direction, and there's like just a million different reactions. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just sort of here for the ride. I'm very Punk pilled. I'm honest about that. I'm a massive fan of his work. I think he's one of the best ever, best going, and I'm gonna be tuned in to see what he does. He's just that kind of like sort of once in a generation presence
yeah.
that really just draws you in. Like, it's so compelling, constantly.
Yeah, I think obviously I watched a lot of Punk's run in Ring of Honor. Missed some of the stuff in WWE, but kind of got the gist for when I watched back and things like that. And to see him in AEW, like you say, politics aside, just in the ring doing what he's done as a professional wrestler, um, telling stories is his forte. He is fantastic at that. The matches were, a bit below par, I guess, in the AEW, but age and time away from the game, you could understand that. So yeah, with WWE's kind of blended approach now of the sports entertainment, but still very storyteller driven, like you can see what Triple H is doing. This should be a nice kind of place for him to slide into. Where we came here today to talk about AEW's identity, and we're going to shift gears into that in a second. But I think WWE's identity right now is very strong, and it's almost like tit for tat. Like, WWE earlier this year picked up Jade, AEW picked up Adam Copeland, AEW confirmed Will Ospreay a matter of weeks ago. WWE have replied with CM Punk. Like, this is a really good time. This is a really good time in wrestling, and I think fans are, getting reaping the benefits from all of it.
I think it's an interesting time. I don't know. For me, I'm a little more cynical about the product, I guess. Like I'm very particular about the things I like in wrestling. So I'm sort of detached from both the main companies and their TV products at the moment. But it's things like this, like Punk signing, where I'm like, oh, that'll pique my interest. It's sort of I can't help but be interested, you know.